Welcome everyone. Today I'm going to be showing you more tips and tricks for when you are working on your RC car. So I make these videos when I make mistakes because then I know how to fix them and I can share them with you guys so you don't make the same ones. Also, they are really fun to make and it is quite cool finding different methods and techniques. So I really hope that you find at least some of these useful or at least entertaining. So enjoy the video. Okay, so even before you start working on your cars, you want to make sure that you have plenty of space so you can put your tools, your parts, and everything on the bench. Preferably you want a hard space so your stuff doesn't get lost. So this is actually a piece of advice. What I'd advise do is make sure that you take your body off so it's easy so the car doesn't roll around or slide on your surface. Also, what I like to do is keep all my tools, all my spares in this box. I call it my bash box, so everything is where I need it and it prevents everything from getting lost. So now you're actually starting to work on your car. I would advise always take the wheels off. So this is just like if you're working on it right way up, or if you're setting your ESC, you don't want it to all of a sudden jolt off. So when you're undoing bolts, it takes millions of years to undo each and individual one. So what I like to do is use this Bosch electric screwdriver, and I also use these EDS racing tips. So you can have a look down below in the description to where you can actually buy them for yourself. So this tool does the job. It does it super quick. It's not like your DeWalt workers drill, but still it makes a massive improvement and it is much easier as well. So also I really love the drill because it is really small, so it's easy to take around with you. So if you're going to a track or a skate park or wherever, and also it is really not that expensive. It's around £20 and I think that is good value for money. So when you're taking bolts out or putting them back in, it's quite nice to have them magnetised. However, lots of the times the tools don't actually come with magnetised tips. So what you can do is rub a magnet over the end. You can use any magnet, it doesn't matter how strong it is, but that should magnetise it. So when it comes to trying to stick a bolt to the end, it works just perfectly. So in my last tips and tricks video, I actually mentioned this, putting your bolts and your pieces together. So a way that you can do this is actually by putting them in the holes that they actually came in. So this means that you don't have a pile of bolts next to a piece of plastic or metal and you don't know which way it goes in. So this is effective because it prevents them rolling off your surface or you losing them in general, because you know that they're just in the slots that they come in. Very rarely what you can find is that you might shred your gears. So what's terrible is finding little metal shavings in the bottom of the chassis, as they will go and destroy your new gears. So what I like to do to make sure I get a thorough check is run a magnet along the bottom of the chassis, and this basically prevents you destroying your new gears. Also, another tip I like to use is by just tipping the car upside down, and that literally could be just the case here. So there might be just a small shaving somewhere that I can't see. So just tipping the car upside down will just help make sure that there's nothing else in there as well. So you may remember this cross method that I used in the last video, so tightening up in a cross to prevent breaking plastic or metal parts. So what you can do is you can use your power tool again to tighten the bolt up, as it's much quicker. But that doesn't mean that you can completely get rid of your screwdriver or your hand wrench or your Allen tool, whatever you use. Because with power tools it is super easy to strip bolts. So you always want to do the last little bit of the bolt by hand so you prevent yourself stripping any bolts. When you are putting your wheels back on your truck, you want to make sure that the rotation is correct, as you could potentially destroy the tread on them if you don't put them on the right way round. So if you have any stripped threads on your truck, then you can use this beadlock glue stuff, like a Loctite, and basically make sure that the remaining threads are super tight in the socket. I'd advise use this on pinion gears or any grub screws. Just make sure that when you've put a blob on and when you've tightened the bolt or put the cap back on of whatever you're using, then make sure that you clean off any excess mess so it doesn't leak and seize up any moving parts. So there we have it. So they are more of my tips and tricks for helping you, making your life much easier for when you are working on your RC cars. So that's it for this video. I really hope you did enjoy it. If you did, then you can leave a like or you can subscribe. Make sure if you did subscribe that you press the notification button, so that means that you can never miss any new awesome footage and action. So I hope you have a brilliant day or week ahead, and I shall see you in the next video. Bye.